Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to talk about immigration, especially the past rhetoric from the Democrats, and also end with some observations of long-term effects of what is happening to illegal immigrants now. Let's start with this clip from President Bill Clinton.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens.
Sounds like another right-wing extremist. Imagine caring about illegal immigrants taking jobs from actual citizens or from legal immigrants. Imagine being concerned about the cost of public services for people who shouldn't even be here. Doesn't he realize the government can just print more money? He continues.
We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
What a fascist. You might remember how we kept hearing Democrats today say no one is above the law, unless, of course, you broke the law by entering the United States illegally. Then it's okay. How about his wife, Hillary?
We do not think the comprehensive health care benefits should be extended to those who are undocumented workers and illegal aliens. We do not want to do anything to encourage more illegal immigration into this country.
Must be another radical conservative. It is so much better to encourage illegal immigration. What about Chucky Schumer?
People say, well, why can't you stop illegal immigrants or others from coming here? And the number one answer we give our constituents is when they come here, they can get jobs, get benefits against the law because of fraud.
Sounds like more conservative talking points, pointing out the obvious that the ability to get free stuff makes it worthwhile for illegals to come. Then we have Pelosi. But before showing her clips, I need to talk a bit about AI because it is so easy to create fake pictures and even fake videos. Some AI sources I checked did say some of the quotes I have from Pelosi are things she supposedly never said. I did watch very closely to see if there were cuts in the video that might signal words being moved around to create a false impression. I didn't see any. The various clips are all from the same speech, as what she is wearing and the background are all the same. But I'm doing the best I can to be fair and only using those clips that AI says are legit. I'll start with this one.
We all in this body, and I know I can speak very firmly for the Democrats, support strong border control, and it must be part, and the first part, of any comprehensive immigration reform.
AI did say some odd stuff about it, though. It pointed out that this was what Pelosi said a couple decades ago, and thus the AI claimed this. At that time, her emphasis on strong border control was more pronounced than it has been in recent years. Okay, that's fine. We can tell that pretty easily from what she said when compared to her attitude today. That's the point of the clip, to show that Pelosi, along with other Democrats, once at least gave lip service to strong border control, yet now attack conservatives for saying the same thing they did. But then the AI gets really stupid, at a level so bad as to qualify to be a stand-in for Jimmy Kimmel. By omitting the time frame, the Post presented an incomplete picture of Pelosi's and the Democrat Party's evolving stance on immigration and border security, which has shifted from more traditional enforcement rhetoric to one that emphasizes both security and humane reform. What? The whole point is that the Democrats have changed on the issue. The old clips show that the Democrats were saying stuff conservatives are still saying, and we are trashed for saying it by those same Democrats. The AI is playing word games, calling it an evolving stance, or shifted, which means, it changed. So the use of Pelosi's quote is not misleading at all. Here's another Pelosi clip.
Democrats support also enforcing laws, current laws, against those who came here illegally and those who hire illegal immigrants.
But the Democrats are not in favor of enforcing the current laws today. They are more interested in supporting sanctuary cities, which don't need to exist if you aren't breaking the law. As for the last part that says, and those who hire illegal immigrants, the AI states that she didn't say that. I'll leave it to the viewer to see if it looks fake, and let me know if you notice anything. Also, just because AI doesn't find anything doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Now, let's talk about the actions of the Trump administration and their efforts to remove illegal immigrants. We know the criticisms. Things like saying, we're removing hard-working, honest people. Well, other than that dishonest thing where they came illegally. Of course, there are arguments that people who have lived here for many years, and especially if they have had children here and haven't gotten in any other trouble, should just be allowed to stay as a humanitarian policy. And I can acknowledge that it is unfortunate. But part of that is the fault of sanctuary cities, where most of these other people get caught. If the cities won't hold the serious criminals for ICE to pick up, then ICE has to do the more dangerous job of rounding them up in communities. When that happens, others who haven't broken other laws are found as well. Maybe sanctuary cities should rethink their policies. But we also know that even if we give amnesty to those people with the idea of starting over on immigration, where we really secure the border from now on, the amnesty will happen, but not the security. We saw that when Reagan agreed to amnesty for millions in return for securing the borders. Somehow we got the amnesty, but also lots more illegals. Let's look at some noteworthy short-term benefits for deportations, but also some long-term benefits. Short-term, besides serious criminals being caught, there have also been many missing immigrant children found. I think that's a really good thing. We also save a lot of taxpayer money by not paying benefits to those illegals. It also has led to the capture of security risks who wouldn't have committed other crimes yet, because their job would be to lay low until they are put into action. Think 9/11. Long term, let's think about what any potential illegal immigrant has to consider. A key one is what their chances are of even getting past our borders, combined with the risk of rape or other abuse from human smugglers who they may have given their life savings to. If you are going to risk traveling thousands of miles with lots of physical, financial, and personal risks, you are far more likely to try it if the odds of success are high. But if the odds are bad, and even if you do succeed, you may be caught and be deported years later, you are far less likely to even try such an illegal approach. So all this stuff we are doing now is sending an important message to minimize problems in the future across the board. Far fewer people will be taken advantage of by the smugglers or other bad people. This includes fewer young girls raped or sold into sex slavery. Speaking of caravans, let me address some more media stupidity. Leading up to a previous presidential election, there was a huge caravan of immigrants coming up with the announced intention to enter the U.S. They were literally tracked every day and how they were getting closer. So we knew they were coming, and we knew their intentions. Yet I remember hearing a newsman on a national network ridiculing Republicans who expressed their concerns as being crazy because, wait for it, the caravan was still 1,500 miles away. Really? That's what he said. It makes as much sense as if the German army in World War II was publicly moving its forces to the French border, as well as publicly saying they would cross that border, and some French newscaster says, "This is nothing to be concerned about because we are still out of range of those tanks." Or like calling the police because someone is trying to break into your house and they say, "No problem, just call us back if they get in." By the way, if you think that is an exaggeration, consider this. A Toronto police constable advised residents at a community meeting to leave their car key fobs by the front door to avoid a violent confrontation with car thieves during a home invasion. That's how insane things have gotten already. Back to immigration. What is the main argument against my point? Well, that those people are really suffering in their own countries. Okay, true enough. But is it our responsibility to solve that? It's easy to say that, sure, we can help some. But why stop there if relieving suffering is your excuse? If it is, shouldn't we actually be helping immigrants to come from all over the world if they are suffering? Like all of them who want to come? Provide transportation too. It's kind of hard to walk from Somalia. I know, you'll say I'm exaggerating. No, I'm pointing out that your argument doesn't hold up, and your generosity is costing other Americans and maybe without directly affecting you. Besides, if you are so concerned, there are options for you to personally send your own money to help people around the world. You know, instead of putting the burden on all tax-paying Americans, and the money you send to help people in a poor country will probably go much further than that same money spent in the U.S. We hear Democrats complain that by stopping illegal immigration, we'll have higher prices because the illegals may work for just $5 an hour. Strange coming from a party which says we need to make huge increases in the minimum wage, and interesting that you take away jobs from Americans just so you have lower prices. It also sounds quite similar to, slavery. After all, if the South didn't have slaves picking that cotton, plantation owners may have had to pay more to hire whites, and prices for cotton would have gone up. Immigration laws must be enforced. Congress can debate and then pass a law most agree to, but the resulting laws must then be enforced by the executive branch or the law means nothing. Every time someone makes illegal immigration easier, they are essentially saying they don't care about the actual laws, not even a law they may have voted on. Such people shouldn't be trusted about anything. Thanks for watching, and don't let the trolls stop you from speaking out.